Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. I'm Lewis Cipher, and this is the Devil's Advocate Debate Club. Welcome back. Today I'm going to take care of one of my video requests. In fact, one I should have probably taken care of quite a long time ago, as I believe this is a promise I'd nearly forgotten and have recently been reminded of. But this will be a video on reasons to take care of yourself. Now, this might seem silly to the average person who already does a good job of taking care of themselves, so let's start with some of the reasons why people don't. Now, some people, especially children, but even adults, have never been taught how to properly care for themselves. It's highly possible that their parents didn't know certain things about self-care and thus couldn't pass them on. I was nearly 30 years old when a dental assistant finally properly showed me how to floss. Now, to be fair, I hadn't been to a dentist in a decade, which was my own bad, but my parents and the dentists of my childhood had showed me a way to floss, which I've done the research now, and, well, just flossing in and out between your teeth isn't really enough. You want to get down in between the roots of the gums and do either side of the teeth, and most of you probably already know this. But, well, it's really easy to miss little details, even if you're someone who, generally speaking, does care for themselves, or take care of themselves. Then, there are people who simply don't believe in modern medicine or in medicine in general. There are people who just believe that the human body can basically fix any problem by itself, and that if you just give it time, these issues will go away. Just true of a lot of them, but there are plenty of ways to help them along, and it's certainly not true of everything. And then there's the category that I fell into for most of my life, which are people that don't care enough about themselves to take care of themselves. Now, I know lots of people don't have... I know lots of people who have different reasons for not caring about themselves. Some people don't have very much self-worth or self-value because of the way society has treated them, or sometimes not even because of that. I've seen people who had, in my opinion, nice, loving families who supported them and did what they could to help their self-image, who still had these issues. So it runs deeper than just the way that society treats you. Sometimes it's just who you are. And for me personally, it was because I had lots of thoughts and feelings that if I stopped and logically thought about them, I'm considered to be evil, and things that I would never do, I thought about. Now, this is a basically universal human experience that people, to one degree or another, think about things that they would never do. But when discussing it with other people, maybe just because of my inquisitive mind, I found that I considered a lot more options, let's just say, than the average person. Even though these were things I would never do, this made me think that on some level on the inside, I was a bad person for even being capable of considering these options as possible. Not possible for me, but possible for the world. And because of that, I had a very, very low self-image with a fair amount of pride. See, I'm good at a fair number of things. I'm fairly good at video games. I've got, according to any test I've taken, extremely high reading comprehension skills. I have things that I feel I can be proud of. And even when I was just full of self-hatred, I still felt it wasn't because I lacked value. This made it really hard for me to connect with other people who had the same issues. But ultimately speaking, it doesn't matter how you come to the conclusion that you're not worth taking care of. it's wrong. The other way that I've seen people come to this is basically just that they don't have the time. You set your priorities, and, well, especially people with kids. I mean, if you just feel like there's too much other stuff to do in the day, and, maybe you're a politician and you feel that whatever cause you're fighting for, even a lawyer, is more important than, well, you or your own personal well-being, because it has to do with the well-being of lots of other people, or even just one or a few other people. Like if it's the care of your child that leaves you, in your opinion, too busy to take proper care of yourself, well, it can feel very, very justified to just spend all of your time taking care of other people. Brutus, come on. And, well, not take any time for yourself because you don't deserve it anyway. Or maybe you do think you deserve it, but they deserve it more. There is a very easy flaw with this logic that was explained to me when I was younger, but not in ways that I could ever quite grasp or hold on to. Or maybe I just was emotionally unprepared to get around them. Give me just one moment. I do apologize. Brutus! Come on, Brutus! Well, okay, we're not going to be going on our planned path. I'm going to take a slow walk back to see if we can't spot my puppy. Anyway, though, the problem with this is that you are and always will be the most important thing in your life. No matter how much you care about someone else more than yourself. Oh, there he is. You are most important, and here's why. Because any good that you can do in the world is filtered through you. So if you want to help other people, you have to take care of yourself first. And now I know there's a lot that you can do for other people without taking care of yourself if you just dedicate your time to them, but you're not giving them your all. You're not doing what's best for them because you're not doing what's best for you. If you take better care of yourself, you have more to give. An amazing example is hydration. And anyone who knows me just sighed and rolled their eyes, because I've harped on so many people in my life about the importances of drinking water. We are made up almost entirely of water, and there is an amazing variety of human, not illnesses, but ailments, which are commonly caused by dehydration. I mean, headache, fatigue, different effects to your mental states, all kinds of things. And most people live their lives moderately dehydrated because it's just not common to find people who drink enough water, or they're drinking things with lots of chemicals which, work the liver rather than flushing it out. So even though Powerade hydrates you, it's still not helpful to your body in all of the same ways that water is. Drink water. But now that rant's out of the way, here's why you should drink water for other people. If you have a migraine and, every light or sound makes you flinch, so you're stuck in bed, you can't go to school, you can't get an education. Migraines, I understand, can be truly crippling. You have a hard time interacting with other people, and you certainly can't be a shoulder to cry on for a friend in need, or if you can, you're going to be wincing in pain every few seconds, and they're probably better off talking to someone else. Well, migraines can be caused by a number of factors. I mean, there are people who are prone to having migraines who have them all of the time, and that's kind of different. But for people who get individual migraines, where migraines are a rarity for them, a couple of the big factors that can cause them are dehydration and bad nutrition. Come on, Roots. And so you can make yourself useless to the rest of the world, no matter how much you want to help other people, or how much you want to just exist, or whatever. Just by not taking care of yourself, and by taking proper care of yourself, you leave yourself, not just more energetic, because lots of people have plenty of energy without taking proper care of themselves. I mean, ADHD gives you all the energy in the world, even if all you eat is sugar. But it gives you better mental clarity, acuity, and focus. It allows you to better think situations through, which means you'll be, well, better mentally prepared for handling your own problems, but way better mentally prepared for handling other people's. You are the basis of any good you can do in the world. So, unless you just don't care about anyone or anything, yourself included, if you're a total nihilist who thinks that there's no value in anything at all in the world, well, that's another talk we'll have to have. Brutus, shut up. But if you find value in anything, even if it's not people, even if it's just the environment or nature or spiders that you're fighting for, if there's something in this world that you take value in, then you need to value yourself just above it. Because by taking care of and protecting yourself, you can take care of and protect whatever else it is that you value. So, I don't care who you are, what mistakes you've made in life, or, what you've done. You matter. You have value. You have something that you can share with the world that will improve it, whether or not you ever do. This includes people who will spend their entire lives doing nothing but harm to other people. You should reform if you're one of those people. You should take a long look at yourself and make sure that what you're doing is something you can live with, is preferably something that benefits the society you live in, and even better, the world at large. But regardless, you have an inherent value in that you're capable of good. No matter what you think of the thoughts that run through your brain, you're certainly capable of helping another person, but only if you help yourself first. Now, just a short list of things that you should do to take care of yourself. These should be clear and obvious. I mean, brush your teeth, floss, drink water, make sure you have a balanced diet. Now, diet's hard because everyone has different ideas of what the right diet is and everything, but, rather than measuring servings out and everything else, try not to eat when you're not hungry just because food is good, and I know food is delicious. Eat some fruit, some vegetables, some grain, some meat. I mean, I know if you're a vegetarian or vegan, that's a whole nother conversation. You can be a healthy vegetarian if you're very, very careful. It's almost impossible to be a healthy vegan from what studies I've seen. But, and do something every day that makes you smile, because we really do have chemicals in our brain, sometimes even semi-addictive ones that, boost us, benefit us, make us happy. And if your brain gets used to not producing them, I mean, I'm no biochemist, but it seems like it's a good idea to keep the muscles or functions in place that produce your happiness functioning. So, I guess not functioning, but keep them worked out, I suppose. So just for your own, not just psychology, but potentially even for some small aspect of your physiology, do something that makes you happy every day. But this should never preclude taking care of your responsibilities, because if you start ignoring your responsibilities, things pile up. And it might just be a priority thing. Oh, well, I don't have time for this because I have these other things to do. And then once it's piled up, it can seem impossible to get through it all because you don't even know where to start. This is what happened to my mother, and it happened to me recently. I was away with the carnival for more than 6 months, and when I came back, mice had basically taken over my house. To be frank, just pooping on just about every surface. So, only did the floors have to be cleaned, but they were on top of the fridge. And I had basically all of my spare clothing, because I don't have enough dressers for it, in bags on the floor waiting to be sorted when I'd left. So it all had to be washed, and I'm actually still going through this process. It's been an insane amount of time to get my house back into what I consider to be livable order, and there were a couple of days after I got my room just basically clean enough to hide and sleep in that I just ignored it. It was overwhelming. It was too much for me because I didn't even know where to start. I have other things in my life that I need to do as well, and had other responsibilities, and, well, I just spent any time that I did spend productively on them and largely ignored cleaning my house, which isn't healthy or productive. It was the wrong decision, and ultimately speaking, now that I have cleaned most of the house, is still a little bit of the process, I feel much better. I had been exhausted for the last week. I'd wake up tired, just like my mom always used to when she was living in a house that was filled with feces. And it just makes perfect sense. Don't live around rodent poo. Now, I had no choice while I was in the house cleaning process but have some of it around me, but I did have a choice to clean it up faster than I did. And, well, maybe I was partially affected by the particulates in the air. I mean, it certainly could be that my mental state was affected after the first night I slept in the house, and I did just feel tired and overwhelmed. So that fits with everything else, but look back through history at some of the things humans have accomplished. We have an amazing amount of willpower and strength. Modern society mollycoddles us and keeps us safe from a lot of the harsher realities of the world, which means that we tend to not work on or develop that willpower. We are, in many ways, weaker than our ancestors, even if we're in many ways more evolved and stronger as well. And that's something we need to start taking back, because we can have the best of both worlds. We just need to work on our human ambition and willpower and, well, take a little bit of it back from modern society. So, I cleaned my room. I cleaned most of my house, and we're finishing the rest of it. I've taken horrible care of myself while I was away with the carnival, because by the end of the season, it was a hellish tour. I had turned into just a being of hatred, despair, and regret, and didn't see the point in anything. I was almost becoming one of those nihilists. I fortunately had one specific shining beacon of hope to pull me through. I suppose especially the fact that I was coming back to Oregon is one that I can share. Oh, I suppose you now know the state that I live in. Ooh. I'm sure most of you had already figured it out. But I had stopped taking care of myself in many different ways, and now that I've started flossing and properly brushing my teeth and have gotten myself back in a clean environment, I feel so much better. No longer getting angry at the drop of a hat. I'm hydrating properly when I had stopped doing that as well, which had probably added to my fatigue. So hey, no one's perfect. We all go through phases where we have problems with all kinds of things in life. And I'm one of those people who, one of those problems can include self-care. So I get it. I understand for those of you who not just have hard times remembering to take care of yourself, but have hard times finding reasons to. But, well, I'll just bring back an earlier point to drive home the end here. If there's anything you value in this world, you might be able to, help it along or take some care of it without taking care of yourself. But you're doing it a disservice if you don't take care of yourself first. Because if you're the best you can be, then, well, you'll give the most to the world around you. But hey, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I know you humans need to be reminded to like and subscribe, and, well, like and subscribe. I've been too busy job hunting and house cleaning to start video scripting, but I'm at least getting more content out, and I am working on getting editing software working on my laptop, but passing videos back and forth since I have to get them back to my phone to upload is a nightmare, so I'm still working on a better process. Anyway, though, as always, I'm your host, Cipher. Thanks for watching the Devil's Advocate Debate Club. Oh, and for anyone out there for any of us who've been through enough hell to stop caring for ourselves, to find reasons to stop caring for ourselves, and have then come through the other side and found reasons to start caring again. You might like the Timmy Trumpet song World at Our Feet. I don't know, maybe it just spoke to me, but all I ask of you is your salvation. Won't you follow me to my imagination? Anyway, have a good one.